Hey everybody, nice to see
Hey, hey, we're waiting on Instagram to pop on here. Hello, hello, world. Y'all come on in the room. Come on in the room, honey. Come on. Okay. We are now live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. All right. We can go ahead on and move that. I'm gonna play my little theme song here just for a second. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? We are here. We are here, you guys. We are live here on Blues Talk with the Duchess. And boy, do I have a treat for you guys on today, honey. We have none other than the recording artist himself, the songwriter himself, the musician himself, Mr. Alan Arena. Woo woo! We are in the building, y'all. And if you're not tuned in yet, you need to come on in the room. Come on in the room. We're going to take this little time right here to share to all our favorite folks on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook so that you all can see this notification. So let's get it. Let's get it. Let me see here. You all come on in the room. See, we are live here. Let me share this with my friends. Share it in the story. Share there. Share it to our group here. Yes. See, that's the beauty about doing everything live. You just work. You just work while you're going. Let's see here. Let's see here. Blues Talk. I am posting one more. All right, so I've started sharing on all of our social media platforms. You guys, welcome to Blues Talk with the Duchess. We are live with none other than Mr. Alan Arena. So welcome, 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 Alan Arena, to none other than Blues Talk. I'm so glad to have you on.
I'm happy to be here, all the way from Massachusetts,
Oh
and
yeah,
the music.
Massachusetts is in the house.
Yep, hanging out
Hmm.
with Paul Nelson's recording studio.
Oh
I
yes.
went to Paul Nelson. He recorded a lot of albums right here, but with Bobby Rush, Jerry Porter,
Hmm.
Willie J. Laws, the Grab Brothers, and others. And I actually recorded my album, Deceived, here with Paul, and it went to #1 on the Roots chart.
Oh wow. Oh wow. And we're definitely going to talk about those albums later on in the show. Okay, so everyone here is from Massachusetts, all right? So I'm going to ask you the question that I always ask everybody when they come on the show. When did you first fall in love with the blues?
I believe I started writing songs at 17 years old, but what happened was I was writing a song, I didn't know that it was Chuck Berry influenced. And then
Mm.
when I was 20 years old, I was listening to rock and roll radio. I was listening to Bob Seger, Eric Clapton. And then I liked an Eric Clapton song. And I asked my friend, I want to do this Eric Clapton song. And he goes, that's not Eric Clapton, that's Robert Johnson.
All
So
right.
what happened was I said, well, I'm going to take a year and I'm going to study American music. And here I am, 40 something years later, still studying American music. And that's when I took the turn at 20 years old. I got the bug. I got that Robert Johnson influence. The next thing you know, I'm traveling up the Mississippi, and you know, everywhere from New Orleans, from Louis Armstrong all the way up to Chicago and Muddy Waters, all the branches of the tree, and reaching out left and right, West Coast blues, Memphis rhythm and blues out of Memphis, obviously, and all
Mm-hmm.
the styles of American music.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Oh wow. And I think it's safe to say that you never completely finished studying music
Oh,
ever.
yeah, I'm still learning.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right, because it's always more artists to learn about, even in present day and in the history part of it. There's still a lot of musicians that so many of us have not heard of, and some of them are just now getting their due diligence now. So that's a great thing. I feel like everyone that's like connected to music, like they should really take that time and study more and more about the artists who came before us and those that are still present with us now. So yeah, I love that. I love that. So how long have you been playing the guitar?
Well, that's when I started when I was 20 years old. I never picked up a guitar
Hmm.
at 20 years old because I'm
Hmm.
left-handed. You can see I got old
Uh-huh.
Betty, and you can see the holes up in the top where they plugged it, and they had to flip it upside down. So I have a hard
Hmm.
guitars. So no one wanted this old-fashioned guitar that was in the shop, and
Hmm.
guess who ended up with it? And it ended up being a gem. This guitar talks, it squawks, it has a personality. A 1962 Epiphone made in Kalamazoo. I call her Old Betty. She's the other half here. And no matter what other guitar I play, I always end up going back to Old Betty.
Oh, Betty.
Bob Marley.
I had another musician on the show, and he was talking about the names of his guitars. I think all of you guitar players have a name for your special guitars.
Yeah, this one. She really does have a personality, and boy, does she sound good.
Hmm.
Got a nice sound to it, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, she definitely has a nice sound. You're gonna play us something. You're gonna have to play us something now.
Well, okay. Well, I had the song on my mind because when I was working with Paul, and he was like, "Oh, Al, you got to jump in the talent contest because we need some people in there." He goes, why don't you jump in the talent contest?" And so I wrote this on the way to the
Mhm.
contest. Willie J. Laws, who I really like and admire as a player, he's from Texas originally, was sitting in the front row. And when I sang it, he goes, "You just wrote that on the way here?" I said, "Yes."
Mhm.
Well, I finished it. I says, "It was partially written, and on the way, I finished the lyrics on the way here." And he couldn't believe it, and I performed for him. And it goes like this. I was walking down the back road when I saw a big black cat. I saw his beady eyes get big, he was raising on his back. Shadow came up over me as the sky turned gray. The wind began to blow and the trees began to sway when the big black cat walked straight across my path. When the big black cat walked straight across my path. Oh, yeah. When I reached the corner, I turned the other way. I could hear the thunder, and it felt like rain. I saw a streak of lightning flash before my eyes. Then appeared the big black cat, took me by surprise when the big black cat walked straight across my path. When the big black cat walked straight across my path. Oh, yeah. I like this part. I see a cloud of dust coming up the road, Could it be my baby to come and take me home? Her Chrysler sedan pulled up next to me. She said, I'm sorry, honey, moving back to Tennessee. When the big black cat walked straight across my path. Oh, yeah. When the big black cat walked straight across my path. Now, comes the big black cat, here comes the big black cat. Here comes the big black cat, here comes the big black cat. Here comes the big black cat, here comes the big black cat. Here comes the big black cat. Yeah, yeah.
Woo! Yes, I love it. The big black cat, y'all. I hope y'all are tuned in for this, you guys. I hope you are tuned in.
All right,
So where do you is okay? So now you said you wrote the song in the van. Where's the strangest place you ever wrote a song?
You know, I've written so many. It's I don't think it's about the place. I think it's about the mindset. I write with my subconscious and I rewrite with my conscious. A lot of times I'll wake up. I woke up in the middle of the night and I just wrote a song, and I write a song in 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes they're complete. Some of them take a while for me even to learn them on the guitar because they're difficult. If I'm writing something, if I'm writing a contemporary blues or a soul ballad, you know, that gets a little fancier on the chords, you know.
Right.
You know, and then some other songs I write like a modern electric blues, but I don't really go to blues rock. I try to stay on this side of that. You know, I like to touch the other edges. I like to touch the country edge and the rhythm and blues edge and the soul edge and the gospel edge. I have some. I like to write gospel. Sometimes I need to take my own advice in these songs. I had a song, Pray Some More. I was writing at work. I was working as an electrician. I didn't have any. I worked. I was in a union. I was going to work, and I was writing a song on the job. I'm going to pray, 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 and then pray some more. And these two carpenters that's the worst song I ever heard in my life.
Wow.
What am I going to do with that song? Of course, they sang it for 2 days straight and couldn't stop singing the song on the job site. You know what I mean? So, but the lyrics ended up being pretty good. You know, it talked about following the proper rule book. You know. So I write songs like that. I got some. I like spirituals. I like gospels.
Right.
Rhythm and blues.
So, do you ever get a writer's block?
I'm having one right now.
Oh.
But I've written so many songs. Like I have 8 songs in the can for this next album, and I got some really nice songs. Some of them are really, really good songs. And I got a lot of pressure on me. When Paul was alive, we lost Paul 2 years ago, March 10th.
Sure did.
Paul was working me like a rented mule. Paul was my cod liver oil. Paul wasn't always easy on me, but he was trying to, you know, get me to rise up. You know, and so particular with the lyrics, you know.
Right.
That's why the album went #1 though too, because of the lyrics too. But Paul's contemporary guitar playing and style and producing was so fabulous, and he just had all these endless ideas and energy, as you know, that he brought to the situation. And I'm trying to keep as much of that as I can, you know. But one more thing about Big Black Cat, it was I was influenced by Albert Collins' Texas Blues, the music. It's a 16. Now, it's not quite as funky and grindy and gritty as Albert Collins, which I'm happy to say that if I even got a single and got on bass with Albert Collins, I'd be happy because he was the best at that. You know, and then the lyrics actually came from Chicago, was influenced by a Bo Diddley. The boat around the corner, the ice wagon flew. You know, and it was it talked about the scenery of the, you know, and that was the lyrical influence. And then I combined the Texas grit, but I couldn't get all of it, you know, because I'm kind of a clean cut. I play guitar and sing at the same time, and you know, vocal style. And then because I'm always playing guitar, and I play and sing at the same time. And then, you know, Bo Diddley and I saw Bo Diddley live too. I've seen a lot of these artists live.
Wow. Wow. That must was something. That's if you could sit down like with one artist that has gone on, who would that be?
Definitely leave your Paul. You
Oh yeah.
oh my God. You know who
Yeah.
bet Paul Nelson?
You know, I think Paul has touched so many of our lives, so many of our lives. And look, I have this that you sent me, and I'm definitely going to cherish this. Even though I didn't get a chance to know Paul for a very long time, it's just the fact that he was such a good and genuine person and willing to help. And like I got a chance to know that about him because
Be the
I
same.
was in a place when I was trying to work on my album. I had written the music, but as far as getting it produced, I was like at a standstill, you know. And so when I went to perform at Paul Benjamin's festival in Florida, that's where I met him at. And matter of fact, I was opening up for him that same show, but he got a chance to see my performance and he sent word that, you know, hey, that he wanted to work with me. So it was like a couple of days after that, and he reached out to me and he was like, you can come up here or I can come down there. And I was like, okay. He said, I tell you what, I'm gonna come down there. And I was like, okay. So I mean, it was happening so fast. And you know, I rented Hummingbird Studio and Paul flew in and we just instantly connected.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the day before, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean that's Paul's energy bringing it
That's
in.
right. It
Have
was like an instant connect. And so he came down, and the night before we were supposed to go into the studio, we went through each one of the songs that were going to be on the My Time to Shine album. And, you know, some things he did tweak some, you know. I was like, okay, let me be a little open to this, you know. And he did tweak some things, but I promise you, everything that was laid down instrumental wise, the production of it, um it was like he was in my head, like it was just like I wanted it, you know. And all the changes that were made, he was just an all-around awesome guy, and it was a great experience being able to um um work with him and to actually have a project with him, just like you know, just like you. So
that
I was looking at this, I was looking at the albums that you sent me, and the C album is the one that he produced for you, right?
Steve, yeah.
Deceived.
Yeah.
Let me bring it back this way. Okay. There it is. All right. So then we have the Where's the Rainbow, Fortune Wheel, and Deceived. So tell us about Deceived.
Deceived. Well, I I had moved to Cape Cod because my best friend it became 100% disabled, and it was the only place I could take care of her was a house on the Cape Cod, and so and then I was down here for a while, and Holly Harris from Boston, the DJ on WMB, Handy Award-winning Holly Harris said to me, "Why don't you go down and check out the music room? There's a new venue going down there. You ought to go and talk to them." And I was so busy with Liz, it took me a while to get down here. And then when I finally I walked in one day, about 3.5 years ago. I walked where I am right now, the music room, Studio A right now. But I went on the stage because I walked in and I says, "Hey, where are the owners?" They go on the other side of the stage. So I walked across the stage. I had old Betty in the case. And I walked over, and Paul was there with Brian Saponi. And I said to the guys, I go, "Hey, can I rent the stage for 2 hours? I want to do a video for my band."
Mm.
Paul said to me, first thing he ever said to me, do it on your phone like everybody else. What do you got in the guitar case? I pulled out, I pulled out old Betty. He said, sing me a song. You get an original? I said, sure. And I sang Raised on Radio, a song I just wrote. I was raised on radio on an old two-speaker stereo. I was raised, and so I sang it for him. And he was like,
Mm.
wrote that? He goes, sing another one. So I sang this other new song called "Believe in Yourself," a song that I really like. probably my favorite song I ever wrote, and it was about being a caregiver. And Paul was a caregiver for Johnny Winters, so
Mm-hmm.
got the theme right away. And I sang it when your heart is on the line and pain is all you know. When you've given all you've got, but still you're all alone. When you're sick and tired of asking for a little help, there's only one thing you can do, and that's believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. So I sang that to him. No,
Uh-huh.
soon as that song was done, he goes, I didn't even know who he was. He goes, dude, you got to let me produce you. And I said, well, I'm not ready to make a record. I said, I don't have enough songs. I said, I only have 4 or 5 songs. Like Big Black Cat wasn't written yet. And
Mm-hmm.
Thieves wasn't written yet. A Devil in the Bottle. And we wrote like 5 songs that year. You know,
Wow.
or I wrote them, and Paul was kind of riding me. Paul co-wrote "Deceived." He has a songwriting credit on "Deceived," which is really a masterpiece. And so that song. So I was like, well, he goes, well, you better get working. Lazy writers in the industry. I was planning on being a songwriter for other people at that point. And Paul,
Uh-huh.
you're going up on stage. He goes, I'm putting you on the map, and he made me
Okay.
manager and the host of the music room. I've been here for 3.5 years, and I've opened. He had me opening for Albert Lee, and Mike Zito, Shanika Copeland, Bernard Allison. I mean, I opened for so many acts, I forget who I opened for.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
and Paul was like, he was going to bring me to Chicago to meet the stage manager in Chicago. It was the weekend I lost my mom, and I couldn't go, but he was
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. But Paul had all this belief in me. When he made me the stage manager, he had me going up on the stage with my guitar and doing a couple songs before the
Mm-hmm.
band talked to the audience. He liked when I asked people where they were from, how they were doing. Tell a joke or two. Just be lighthearted.
Right.
And that's me. I didn't have to lie or anything like that. I always had my joke. I started at the bottom of the totem pole. Now I'm second from the bottom. And people would laugh, and I just tell real life things. Like I grew up with 6 sisters, so if the girls heckle me, I could drop the guitar. I get really nervous. You know what I mean? And the girls like that kind of stuff. They like that kind of stuff, and you know,
Right.
pay attention to people, and you know, it's normal for me. Like I don't when they hired me, I said to Paul and Brian, I said, I'm really happy in my life. I don't need anything good to happen to me. I think they like that about me.
Mm-hmm.
Happy.
Mm-hmm.
I just trust God's timing. And the more I
That's right.
trust God's timing, right, is it's like the better things happen for me. We just did a
That's right.
fundraiser, raised all kinds of money to fix up a handicap van for the veteran. It was a huge success. Tony Lynn Washington, she sang at the Chicago Blues Festival. She's really big in New England. She came and she sang at the concert along with all these famous people. I just had
Mm-hmm.
support. Not only have I worked with Paul, I got to record a couple songs with Tom Hambridge once. I've, Ronnie Earl played songs on my record. I do a lot of work with Sax Gordon. He's just been like a brother to me.
Right.
Incredible. I'm playing, right now. I'm recording with Marty Richards. He plays with Big Isles Band and Brad Helene. He's producing the record now. The Paul's gone, and he played with Susan Tedeschi, and he's played with great bands. Roomful of Blues, Brooks Millgate, who everybody wants as the piano player around the whole country,
Okay.
and these fabulous Monster Mike Welsh is playing on my record, 3-time
Oh,
American
wow.
award. And I learn it. So when Mike's there, I let him play the guitar, even though I do a pretty good job on the guitar. But Mike's considered one of the top blues guitar players in the country. If I can get that help, because there's so much work to making a record, it's not only just playing your instrument; it's
That's right.
songs. It's so much, and just the energy too. The energy of doing all that and coordinating. And Mike is such a good rhythm player as well as a lead. He's very, very, he's like a pyramid. His bass is very wide. He can
Right.
play just about anything. So I'm just
Mhm.
lucky and blessed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that Deceive album, it was number one, right? Number one on the Roots chart, Blues Roots chart, Roots chart.
blues chart. Yeah, I went to number one, and I had five singles in the top 200 last year. Big Black Cat was at 40, and I had four other songs that were in the top 200 of all the acoustic blues songs from the whole year. I had five of the top 200.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
and I'm getting a lot of radio play. I got a couple spins on the radio today. They're starting to play "Believe in Yourself." That's
Mhm.
off the record a lot. Um, DJs are telling other DJs, nightclub owners are talking to other nightclub owners. Sometimes they're talking to people that run festivals. I'm going to be in the March
Mhm.
Festival this year. I'm in the Hyena Summer Series. I got a couple of really cool blues rooms I'm going to be playing this year, and then we're going to be playing at this organization, Blues for Veterans, which is kind of a big deal. And and so all these things are branching out. We did a radio show last week in Marshfield, WATD. We did 4 or 5 songs live on the air, and it was a great interview. A lot of fun. They were really stunned by how good we went, even as a duo. I brought my bass player, and we played 5 songs, and they were like, "Wow!" And
Wow.
the producer of the radio station, she was like, I can't, and the DJ was like, "I'm going to stop playing your stuff," you know. So that's how you do it, Get out.
Yeah, that's definitely how you do it. That is awesome. That is awesome. Shouts out to everyone that is here on Blues Talk with the Duchess. We have none other than Mr. Alan Arena in the house. I see those comments coming through. So I just want to say hello to all of y'all that have joined us. I see you on the stream. Shouts out to Lady Adrena. I was trying to see who was this that sent us this message. Let's make it bigger. There we go. Shouts out to J. Irvin Bates. Okay, he said, "Good evening, Duchess. Time Signatures sends lots of love, girl. All right." Shouts out to Silver Shirley. Hey, Duchess and Alan. We also have someone joining us from YouTube. Seems like that's a friend of yours, Alan.
What's the name there? Does it say?
Um, Ooh, I tell you, with my glasses on, I'm still messed up. Will Francis.
Hi, Will. How you doing?
All righty. And let's see. That name is Dickie Colt. Is it Colt or
Oh, Dickie Colt. Yeah,
uh-huh.
Dickie Colt. He's up in Boston. He's a piano player out of Boston. I met years ago. Dickie Colt. He played
Awesome.
for a couple of years. Yeah, great, great. Dickie, how you doing up out there? Dickie Colt, great
Yeah,
guy.
he's joining us from YouTube. So shouts out to you. Shouts out to my family. All my family is in the building. We have Silver Shirley, Shanika, Jasmine, and Ramiri. And I try not to read the string for some reason. I look a little awkward when I'm just reading and trying to
Yeah,
see.
down south to meet them all. One of these days, I'm coming down and work with you.
Oh yeah, and I will be very, very open to that. Very open to that. Shouts out to everyone that is joining us also on Instagram. I see you guys there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we are still here live with none other than Alan Arena. If you're just not joining us, you all missed a treat because he sung Big Black Cat for us, and I love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure I play that also on the Duchess Soul Sessions too.
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's ask us some more questions here. Let's see here. Um when you talk about music, how has music influenced your life? How has your life been influenced outside of music?
I would say that people that do music and like music are more receptive and positive in the world. I think
Mhm.
everybody should go to music school when they're young because there's an openness to it, because it's an artistic thing, and your energy comes out with music. And music could be one of the things that helps to save the world because right now there's a lot of anger and hate in the music race and in the music, in the world, and people hating other people. And we live on a tiny planet in the middle of nowhere, and nobody even knows what the existence means. And
That's
here we
right.
are, fighting each other, killing each other, right? When we could be helping each other. Why not do
Mm-hmm.
for other people? Why spend all this time judging? I have a saying: total acceptance. Then you make choices. You can make good choices. Sometimes you can make a choice to stop, to pause, to halt, to reverse. You,
Mm-hmm.
or just rest. You know,
That's
so
right.
so it's what we can do with music is we reach a spot. We can touch people beyond political party, beyond concepts, beyond race or gender identity, or why not let just people do what they want to do as long as they're not hurting other people? I mean, if they're working, paying taxes, and and everybody was working and paying taxes, and we could have health care, and I want to make health care a human right for
That's
people.
right.
I mean, I'm for women's choice. I mean, if I was with a woman and she was pregnant, I wouldn't want her to do something to her body that I didn't want. It would be her choice. And I grew up
That's
with
right.
sisters, and it's not my body. You know what I mean? And if something happened like incest or rape or something like that, that's a whole nother story.
That's
They should have nothing to say about that.
that's
That's
right.
definitely a woman's choice. And growing up with six sisters, I respect women, and I also
That's
respect men too. It should be 50-50. It should be everything should be 50-50. And
mm-hmm.
turn the other cheek. What Jesus said that one, don't let these small offenses take root. Just trust that in the long run, if you have a good attitude, that all these great things are going to happen to you. Because look what happened to my family. My best friend came down with a very incurable disease, and she's alive against all odds a lot longer than anybody thought she was going to be. And she's happy. She was smiling when I left the house. And there's been some
Mm-hmm.
struggles and stuff. But also through our fundraising and our concerts for Hugs for Lisbeth, we brought a lot of people in. Like I said, Tony Lynn Washington came and sang. And we've had Ronnie Earl came to a few of our concerts. And all these great, tremendous artists that show up and play that are willing to do it. Like some of them work in the music business. They need the money. Then we always pay those people 100 or
That's
200. That's what they need. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do for a living. If they do it for a living, I make sure they get something. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
That come and sit on my record and they record a song. Even if they just recording a song, they're going to get 150 or $200. You know,
That's right.
even though they'd probably do it for 100 because that's the way that they are. Especially when they see my situation. But
Mm-hmm.
we have enough to get by. We're not poor. We have the electricity on. We're not, we're fine. But it's about. I feel like the more I give, the more I get back, and even with music too. Like I have my new single came out. It's coming out tomorrow officially, even though it was on the radio today. I got 2 spins today with the new song, brand new song
Okay.
called "Girl," and it's. Last night I brought it to the club. I sold 12 copies the first night
Oh wow. And
because
I saw that on your Facebook page too, because I was like, I gotta make sure I get a copy of that. And you are selling those for is it
they're,
5 and 5 for
no,
shipping?
no, well, I changed it. It's $11 for one, two for two.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because people go,
Mm-hmm.
what? You know what I mean?
That's right.
First thing I say to them, I says they're very expensive, but it's a limited edition. They won't be reprinted. You buy them now,
Mm-hmm.
getting them. And I ended up selling 5 sets of two like that, and then someone else bought an album and a single, and somebody else bought one at the end of the night. I ended up selling 12 of them plus a copy to Steve last night. So that
Mm-hmm.
was just me hanging out at the club, because even if I'm not playing, CJ Chenier was here with his Louisiana band, and they
Mm-hmm.
were fabulous. And so I hung around last night, and I knew a lot of people at the club, and sometimes you get lucky and you just sell a lot of product. So,
Mm-hmm.
but what I did is that I'm taking 50%. It costs about $2.50 to print a CD, even if it's a single. But I do the
Mm-hmm.
fashion and all that other stuff, and that all adds up taxes. So it's about $5, maybe a little bit more. But I said,
Right.
half of every single that I sell is going to go to one of the radio stations is doing a fundraiser for the Heart Fund. So anybody that sees that, please get in touch with me. If anybody would like to make a donation to Blues Music Fan Radio's Heart Fund, please just message me if you want to make a $10 donation. I'll be happy to send you something in the mail. I'll send you some links to a song. You want to buy a T-shirt? You want to buy a bunch of stuff? I'll give you a volume
Yeah,
discount.
make sure you all get your T-shirt now. Now I wore my T-shirt today. If you all can see it, we need that awesomeness. Y'all make sure you get your T-shirt. It's really, really nice. The fabric is really good, great quality.
Oh
Get
yeah,
your T-shirt.
so lucky. I have like a super artist. She's so super professional. She helps a lot of people in the music business. She helps um, not Nick Moss, but his brother out of Chicago, and she helps this another singer out of Memphis and Boston, some of the top Boston art. And she just has an eye for art. She designed the Deceive CD, and
Mm-hmm.
how beautiful that is with Paul's photo in there. And
Yes.
and then my photographer is just top notch. And my engineer, I actually met through Paul, and now he's one of the co-producers for my records. And he helps me with all the IT stuff. And then I have
Mm-hmm.
Frank Rozak out in LA. Now Frank worked with Michael Jackson, and whatever Frank
Okay.
said, that's what we do. I don't question it. He says, do this, don't do that, and don't speak up, and keep it down, and keep quiet, and dress up for those messages, you know, those video calls. You better look sharp, you know. So he's old school, but he keeps me on the straight and narrow. So he took over
Right.
the quad liver department for Paul. He's like my new Paul. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You got to
Mm-hmm.
stay on top of it with Frank. He's sharp.
Oh, wow.
He wants everything simple,
And
straight ahead.
you're talking about Frank Rozak, right?
Motor out of LA, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I got a chance to speak to him a couple of times on the phone when Paul gave me his info to reach out to him. Yeah.
And I had talked to Frank in 2006, 2007, and
Uh-huh.
he spoke with me for a while. He was really very kind. And then when my Fortune Wheel came out, I spoke to him again, and we were both under the you're not ready, kid. You know what I mean, kind of thing. You know what I mean. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I met Paul, I had called Frank, and I think Frank's the one that said, "What do you mean you're working with Paul Nelson? Paul Nelson's a friend of mine." Right? And the next thing you know, him and Paul are talking back and forth, and Paul put a good word in for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you know, I mean, I think Frank really likes me. If I make a mistake, he'll let me know it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Frank really liked me. He told me I'm one of his favorites. So
Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah.
is so nice.
So I just
When you're talking about having these different relationships with different people in this industry, what would be some advice that you would give to emerging artists that are coming into this industry, whether it's in blues or soul or country or gospel? What advice would you give them?
two things. First of all, be yourself. Tell your story. Don't try to somebody else either. Develop develop your voice. People ask me about, can I have a singing lesson? I teach people how to not sing. I develop the voice that God's gift that comes out of your body. Whatever that sound is, that's the sound that you want to develop. And then you want to work the keys and stretch your vocal cords a little bit. Not hurt yourself, but you need to practice your scales and find out your keys. And there's a big difference between Sunday morning and Saturday night. You might be singing a song in one key on a Sunday morning at church when you just got
Mm-hmm.
the car, but when you got the microphone and the band's cranking on Saturday night, that key ain't gonna work. Now there's some
That's
songs
right.
there's some songs that are hard songs that are not. They're real easy. Or Sweet Home Chicago or any of those shuffles or swings or even 8-bar blues or stop times. A lot of those songs are really easy to just transpose. So when
Mm-hmm.
they go into an open mic, test the mic before you pick the key. Right? Go up there and speak on the mic. See if it's a real dead sounding mic, cheat the note up. Instead of doing it in
That's
G,
right.
A, or A sharp. will be. You know what I mean? But you know what you can. So so that's the big thing is the difference between Sunday morning and Saturday night. And then this is the most important thing: right size your project. When
Hmm.
people aren't ready to do the work. And there's two words that they need to know: artist development. It does not happen by your on your own by wishing it. You have to develop the songs. You have to develop the relationships. You need to find somebody that maybe in the corner that can speak for you and develop the songs. If you got a melody in your head and you can't write music, well, maybe you should co-write with a guitar player or a piano player
That's
and
right.
down and work the chords and work the keys and really fine tune and don't put a song out until it's really ready. Just because you wrote it doesn't mean it's going to be great. You have to know all the tricks. You know, you can read the college level books without going to college. You know,
Right.
give yourself a college education by really diving into the music and really working it really hard. But so if you're a local artist and you're starting out and you want to get some radio, right? What about developing a couple of songs, right? Finding somebody that's really good at playing the kind of music that you like to do.
Hmm.
A couple of songs. Make sure you work the right keys. Do a demo. You know what I mean, and see how it sounds. You know, don't think
That's
you're gonna
right.
write a finished CD the first time. You go in there. You do some scratch tracks. You develop it. You work on the arrangements. Clean up the lyrics. You make. You know, you find the right instrumentation. People that'll work for cheap money. They're probably people that'll help you because they're starting out, right? And then get a photographer and get a couple of professional photos. Record a couple of songs and just put out a single with you smiling
Hmm.
or whatever you want to put on there, and then release a couple songs, but have them be about you. Tell your story. What's your story? Where did you grow up? What did you do? What's your experience? Why are you different? Why can you? Why?
Hmm.
What do you want to say about it? What do you say about it? And just write the truth. That is
That's
funny because it's the best.
That's right. That's right. And I think that is some awesome advice to give emerging artists because of the mere fact that a lot of people they do uh jump out there and they put songs out there and they don't take the time to sometimes some of them just put the music out there and they don't even get it copyrighted. Like they need that guidance and they need to be able to take that advice from other artists as well. Everybody is has to be open to learn and to be able to listen to what people are telling them sometimes, to have that longevity. So you are totally correct. Totally correct.
Say one more thing about songwriting.
Uh-huh.
Let's listen to a Kev Mo interview because I listen to all the interviews. I study all the great writers, the different styles. Like John Prine,
Hmm.
he writes he writes songs like he'll have nature in his songs. He really has a lot of truth. Then you got Tom Hambridge now is writing the songs for Buddy Guy, and he writes a lot of Americana. He wrote a song called Lemonade and Corn Dog, and he'll paint pictures of these. I call him like the Norman Rockwell of songwriting. Then like Bob,
Hmm.
he's kind of like a Norman Rockwell too, but he has more of a darker, starky side of it, where he
Right.
paints the dark side of the Norman Rockwell. And then you have somebody like Laurie McKenna who wrote the songs for Faith Hill. Very emotional writer, writes a lot of real beautiful emotional stuff. And so
Hmm.
there's just these different writers that are out there that you can study.
That's
If
right.
I was to examine me, I'm looking for answers in life.
Hmm.
A lot of
That's
my like I said earlier, I got to take my own advice.
right.
Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes we all have to take our own advice. That's for sure.
So can I do one of the new ones?
Please, please. I was just about to ask you that.
Let me do one because I wrote this song. Let's see, am I in tune? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm gonna need some evidence to prove your love for me, I'm gonna need some evidence, or I'll set you free. What is your defense? I'm gonna need some evidence. You've been suspected of a crime, and I won't live on borrowed time. If you're convicted, I'll say goodbye, 'cause I refuse to live a lie. The jury's out on a break. I'm in no hurry, and I can wait. I'm gonna need some evidence to prove your love for me. I'm gonna need some evidence, or I'll set you free. What is your defense? I'm gonna need some evidence. The word was out on the street, and the news was bittersweet. You didn't have an alibi. Was I supposed to let it slide? Are you giving me a clue? Because I feel I'm being used. I'm gonna need some evidence. Sing it with me, girl. To prove your love for me. I'm gonna need some evidence,
Evidence.
or I'll set you free. What is your defense? I'm gonna need some
Evidence.
gonna need some gonna need some evidence. I'm gonna need some, gonna need some evidence. I'm gonna need some, I'm gonna need some.
Gonna need some evidence. I love it. Love it.
My new minor ballad called Evidence.
Evidence. Is this and that's on the new Cape Cod album?
Oh no. Cape Cod Girl was just a single. I don't even know if that's
Okay.
beyond the I don't know if it's contemporary enough to go on the album. It's a fun, upbeat song. It rocks a little bit. But to me, I'm sticking with contemporary blues. I like Tedeschi Trucks. I like Warren Haynes. I like his softer stuff. I like Kevin.
Hmm.
I like his acoustic style. Somewhere in there, in the middle of there, maybe some little bit of Memphis soul, a little bit of Texas style blues, a little bit of Texas grit. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere floating. I might land me right in the middle of Mississippi. You know what I mean? So you never know, right? But I'm planning on coming down there because I know a guy that on the bass that played with Jovan Webb, and he was with CJ last night, and he said,
Uh-huh.
"Yo, down to Louisiana." I said, "I'll grab a drummer. We can go out and do a gig as a trio down there in Louisiana, and
That's
so
right.
I'll be making my tour one of these days. I just
Oh
gotta
yeah.
with my home situation. I gotta make sure Liz is safe.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
right.
And speaking of your friend Liz, now I was reading on your website. You guys are going to have another fundraiser September the 5th.
Yes.
Saturday, September the 5th at 1 p.m. It will be Hugs for Elizabeth fundraiser featuring Aaron Hart Country Blues Duo, Cheryl Arena Duo, is it Sweet Wednesday, Allen Arena, and Via Control. And it will be at the Music Room in West Yarmouth. Now, listen, if you guys are in the area, even if you're not in the area, y'all need to travel and go to that fundraiser. Okay, it's for a great cause. Alan, would you like to give more information about that?
Something about Aaron Harp and Jim Countryman. I mean, they've been traveling
Mhm.
all the country. They were down in Clarksdale. They were all over the place. They're over in Britain doing some showcases. They tour all the time.
Mhm.
They're just a fascinating couple. They work so hard. Aaron's so super talented, and so isn't Jim. And Jim's so happy to be with Aaron. They love each other, and they travel well. They kick butt as a duo, and
Mhm.
come down and they're going to headline that day. Now Cheryl Lorena was another blues headliner herself, but I
Mm-hmm.
so and then Cheryl Lorena with her duo is with Mike Peel, who's a wonderful, wonderful guitar player. Just absolutely adores playing. And they're going to go on. Erin's probably going to start the show because she's going to be traveling.
Okay.
And then Cheryl Lorena, beautiful harmonica player. She goes down to Clarksdale. She plays with Charlie Musselwhite and James Cotton when he was alive, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Rick Astron, Jerry Portnoy, all these guys. She knows, and the thing I like about Cheryl is very melodic player. You know, her
Mm-hmm.
she can do like she can sound like a freight train if she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
She can also lay back and play some really melodic, beautiful stuff. And
Yes.
never heard anybody play, and that's what I like. I like these melodies, and so as a harmonica player, I like melodies. I like tension. And then Sweet Winds duo from the Boston area, and they got a great new song called "Pray." I really like it. You know, when I heard it, I'm like, wow, that's really good. I really like that. And they
Right.
just they're always writing. They're another couple that are always writing and traveling. They went to New York City um, to do their video about New York City, and they're always willing to come out, you know, and help the Hugs for Elizabeth fundraisers for gas money. They're happy to come and do it for gas money. They're like kind of part of the family, so you know, it's not like these traveling artists. We have to make sure we pay them a decent amount to come down and do it. And then my band, Volume Control, because the thing I like about my band is that I always say before we open for Albert Lee, guys, play like your grandmother's in the front row, because we're opening for Albert Lee, and it's not, you know, the drummer wants to, oh yeah, well, we can knock this crowd out. I said, not tonight. I said we're opening for right. You need to
Uh-huh.
play with Eric Clapton. I don't know if you know how many people he's played with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we want it to be whisper quiet. We want him to say we like you guys. So we, you know,
Mm-hmm.
did pretty good. Second half, once I went into Big Black Cat, the drummer lost a little bit of control. But you know, those drums. But the thing, I got better people now even playing with me, so it's really, really good. But the thing
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, someone came in from another club and we did a show with them, and he said, "Well, we're not using opening bands anymore because all the bands are too loud."
Mm.
You know, it's funny because he works at a nightclub. I work in a nightclub. We're friends, and his boss is the one that hired us to do on the blues club, the blues clubs. Gave us a
Uh-huh.
not big money or anything, but we're working our way up the totem pole. And once they hear us there, you know, then they're gonna say, I think these guys could open for just about anybody because we can play quiet. You know, we can play. I don't use any guitar pedals. I don't need them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's where we got four great bands, and then we have an announcer that's coming down, Don Berry, who's gonna do songs here or there. He's a local artist. He's got a great new song called what's the name of that song? Church Beer Church. He's got a catchy little number that he's been singing at his acoustic gigs, and he's really made a name for himself on Cape Cod, getting a lot of really great gigs. I'm very proud of him. You know what I mean? So you gotta wish everybody well,
That's
and
right.
even the people that might be mad at you because they think you said something, or you know what I mean. It's so easy now with social media to take something out of context or whatever. Now,
Mm-hmm.
my heart on my sleeve type of guy, you know, I'm gonna say, you know, I love you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say, you know, I'm rooting for you 100%. And
That's
sometimes
right.
maybe someone might think you're being sarcastic but they don't know the story that I went through because I couldn't
That's
play for
right.
what God said. I had to move and I had to learn how to take care of a disabled person, and I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
playing much when I met Paul. You know what I mean? And I was playing a little bit, but they got me back into the swing of things, didn't they? And
They
so
sure did.
I trusted. I'm blessed. I'm happy, but blessed and lucky. So I think that, you know, I wonder if God's just repaying me for trying to be a good person.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? And it's just like they always say, God's timing is everything. And he will open up doors for you at the right time when they're supposed to be open. So you're doing an amazing job, and you're continuing to spread positivity and being a blessing to other people. And God sees you for your work, and it's an amazing work that you're doing, and also helping other people, and taking care of people, going over and beyond. So kudos to you, because God is truly blessing you to be able to bless others. So that's a great thing.
There's nothing greater than service for others. And these
That's right.
for Liz, which end up actually bringing us money, but we used it to fix a handicapped van. Needed a transmission,
Hmm.
cam, everything was custom, and it was very expensive. And then so now, even though we're going to be doing a caregiver fundraiser at the end of the summer, we're not trying to raise a lot of money. We raise a little bit of money for ticket sales and stuff. That'll be fine. But the thing
Yeah.
is, we're still going to try to help this heart fund through bluesmusicradio.com. And that's a great station. They play blues radio 24 hours a day. So that's one of the stations. I have my DJs that I've been listening to for 25 years. Great,
Hmm.
Brandeis Radio, WBRS, Holly Harris on WUMB. There's plenty of DJs that I know that that I listen to. There's a guy out in Hawaii. If I'm out late on a Friday night, I'll listen to. If I'm up early on a Saturday morning, I listen to this DJ. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Support the DJs. I probably listen to too much blues radio, but I'll tell you, I've really cut down on my TV. And you can learn a lot by listening. But I should
That's
really
right.
really be writing more. I'm going to get back to discipline. I mentioned Kevin earlier. He's the nature. I know somebody that's travel. That's what he does, and that's how he gets away from the crowds and talking too. Like that's his sanctity. With Murray.
Hmm.
I'm going to get back to where my writing is sanctity, because that's when something's really bothering me. I write.
That's
Like
right.
tonight, I wrote "Believe in Yourself," and they just wrote this big article. A DJ wrote it about me. It's called "Great." He started the article with the night Alan Arena wrote "Believe in Yourself." The night I wrote that song, that was my truth. When your heart is on the line, pain is all you know. And when you've given all you've got, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That was me. I had nobody to call. I was exhausted, listening to help, fight to get through the day. That song just flying out of me. Boom. Wrote the whole first verse, half the second. Right. When I was another circle, did stick up to this girl. I wasn't going to let this girl push me around like the other one, right? Full circle woman. And I was walking around Detroit when she found me. When the get heavy, everything is don't let yourself get in the way. Find a place to belong. You're the only one that can keep you down. You gotta take your turn. You're been before time, brother. You know that was like
Oh
one of the
yeah.
that I can boom, 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 just go for it. Like, hey,
Right.
that might be an album.
I'm
Life
kind
story.
of. I'm. Hold on
Yeah,
just a second, because I'm kind
we're
of
gonna
experiencing a delay on my end. Am I clear on your end?
rock there as a bell.
Okay.
In my,
Okay.
you look,
There
you
you
look fabulous. Really do.
go. Oh, thank you.
It's a great color.
Oh yeah. That's right. I got on my shirt, you guys. You guys got to make sure that you get your t-shirt. Get your t-shirt from Mr. Allen Arena, okay? Make sure that you do. And also, because we are running out of time. But make sure that if you do not have any of his albums, that you make sure that you get them. You can also reach out to your his website as well. What is that? Give him that website, Alan.
AlanArenaSongs.com. So all
That's
you have to
right.
do is
All right.
9 letters plus songs, AlanArenaSongs.com. An arena like a sports arena. One
Mm-hmm.
L in Allen, ALANARE.com, and you'll find all the press releases and photographs and videos and links to songs on. I really have a professional website. I'm really lucky. Jared Gitto, who helped me to do that. Paul T guy, and now he works with us, and he's a great friend.
That's
So
right.
be
And yes, it does. The website is awesome.
give it away. You know what I mean? I'll leave you
That's
with that.
right. That's right. Okay, you guys, make sure. Oh, and don't you all forget to get the new single, Cape Cod Girl. Make sure, connect with him on all social media platforms up under Alan Arena. Make sure that you do so. Alan, it has been a pleasure having you on Blues Talk with the Duchess. We've shared so many memories about Paul Nelson. Listen, I'm gonna cherish my card, you guys, that Alan sent me in the mail of Paul Nelson. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
Paul,
huh?
I'm in Paul Nelson's studio. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Oh yes, oh yes. The Paul Nelson, you guys. But thank you so much for coming on. I have really enjoyed this conversation. And it has been very, very informative for all y'all that came on to be a part of this conversation. Thank you all so much. I see so many more people came into the chat. Layla Davis, Stacy Berry, who else we have here? Kevin Duncan Jr. We also had somebody else here. Y'all know I don't like to read because I sound a little, Bob Granfield
Oh, yeah.
also joined the chat.
Bob Grant. He's a drummer out of Buffalo. He's moving with the Cape Cod. He's going to be the drummer for Volume. Hey, Bob, how you
Okay,
doing?
awesome,
Mickey Colt, how you doing, man?
awesome. And we also had Crystal Thomas to join the chat as well. Thank you all so much for joining. It means a lot to me. This is season 1, episode 6 of Blues Talk with the Duchess. Thank you all so much for coming on. Until next time. And Alan, thank you so much for coming on and gracing us with your presence.
Thank you so much.
All right. And we're going to end it, you guys. Hold on. Oh, and shouts out to everybody on Instagram. I didn't forget about you guys. I see you over there. All right. Shouts out to all of you all. Let me say thank you before I end that live over there. Thank you. All righty. Let's see here.